I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So, following on from the previous episode where we done quite a lot of engine related work, we're going to be carrying on that theme into this episode because there is still quite a bit to do to the bottom end. We left it on not really a cliffhanger of such, but we didn't know what sump we needed and what pickup and all of that. That's all going to be cleared up in this episode. There's other things to do, such as spraying the rocker cover, still need to prep that as well. And the original engine mount plate is still in the bay for the Mk1 Fiesta, so we're going to have a go at drilling that out as well in this episode. So I'm going to start this video where we left it last episode, where we were in a bit of a predicament with this Zetec sump. Basically, we're trying to fit a 1.8 Zetec sump to a ST170, but it's been done many times, and the reason we're doing this is to allow extra clearance for the exhaust and also to fit the Mk1 cradle. I did try to asked for some help on the Mk1 and 2 Fiesta group, but I had a massive backlash and loads of people said to use the original sump. But I stuck to my guns, and someone called
Dave Sam
on Facebook really helped me out and told me everything I needed, so then I could go out and source it. So once I had that info, a guy contacted me with a 1.8 Zetec pickup and the windage tray, which I bought off him. My old mate Shane Baker had the main end cap bolts along with this extra stud to fit the windage tray, and I also picked up these spacers from eBay,
which Dave
helped me with these with the measurements and that, so thank you to you, mate, because you really explained a lot. He's got a Mark III Fiesta, I believe, that he's got a Zetec in, so yeah, this will all make sense in a minute once I start putting it together. Before I start putting this all together, I just wanted to put the two sumps side by side to explain something. So this sump from the ST170 has a built-in windage tray, so you can see there that stops all the oil from splashing on the crank. However, the Zetec one doesn't, and that's where this comes in. It's still really dirty, don't worry, we're going to clean it up, but that pretty much sits roughly about there and stops all the oil from splashing up. You can also see from this angle how much we're actually taking off. Look how bulky that ST170 is compared to the Zetec. It's going to be much easier to fit a exhaust underneath and fit the cradle. I'll just show you how it's going to look on the engine. So that's the old pickup pipe still on there. You can't really get this round the wrong way because it's got a cut out for the pickup. Once it's on, it pretty much sits roughly about there, but obviously we're going to have that spaced out, so it's going to sit about there so it clears the crank. Right, let's get to putting this all together. So you've just seen me in that time lapse doing these main end bolts, and they've come out alright actually. I'm really happy with how they're sitting. And I just thought I'd leave the last one and explain it. So you've got the new main end bolt and the old one. The old one sits like that, but obviously you need the spacer to bring it up to length, and you've got this extra bit for the windage tray, and it's literally just exactly the same. Work it up there and in. Been told to tighten these up to about 90 Newton meters, so we're going to do that for the moment, but we'll be checking everything before we button up the sump anyway, because we still need to get a gasket. But yeah, so that's that done. I'm going to nip them up and try and fit the windage tray. Just removing the ST170 pickup now. It's just held in there with two Torx 30s, even though I'm really struggling to get on them. So here are the two pickups side by side. Not a lot of difference, but the 1.8 is a lot longer, and I don't think it's as deep as the other one. Right, let's get this sorted. It's got a little gasket on it as well. Just put that up there. I'm going to use the same bolts because I don't see why not. Not going to change them. So with that pickup now all done up, I'm going to torque up these 4 main end bolts that I've swapped over. Someone said 90 Newton meters, so we're going to go for that. So today's top tip is don't fit the pickup first. Make sure you torque up all these bolts because you can't get to this one with a torque wrench. So I've got to remove this again, but that's all right. So now we've done all the prep to fit the windage tray. So this should fit on, and then we'll test fit the sump. I did give this a bit of a clean up. So hopefully it goes straight on. Look at that. Right, if this is the only bit of advice you take out of this video, don't fit this pickup until last, because I've gone to tighten up the windage tray and I've got exactly the same scenario where I can't get around it, and if you put a shallow socket on it, it's got this stud so it doesn't reach it. So yeah, leave this off till last. So that's all the modifications done, so we can run a 1.8 Zetec sump. Just to run through what we've done, got these 4 spacers to space out the main end bolts. I've got the windage tray and a 1.8 pickup. So now I'm going to try and do this one-handed, so bear with me. Let's see if this fits. Look at that. Now we've got this sump to fit, I've got a gasket and some gasket sealant to go on it before we fit it to the engine. However, first I'm going to clean up all in where the gasket actually sits, because otherwise it probably won't seal. Now I've found the drill that I'm going to be using. However, when it comes to finding a wire wheel, I've got this drawer, and I'm pretty sure everyone's probably got one of these drawers in their toolbox, and the wire wheel's in here somewhere, but I've just got to rummage through this and try and find it. So I've cleaned up the sump and it come up really nicely in the end. I used multiple wire wheel attachments on the drill, and I also washed it out afterwards. I've gone ahead straight away and fitted this new rubber gasket that we've got for it. Bought this off Euros actually. It was only like £17–18, something like that. It is worth noting that you've got to clean the underside as well of old gasket, which I've already done. There wasn't a lot on there, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and fit this sump in a minute, but we're going to add some sealant just around the outside to make sure it seals completely. Let's get this on before it sets. If you watched the last video, then you're probably a bit shocked to see this all bare again. I've removed the timing cover plate and the water pump because we forgot to refit or fit a new seal to the water pump housing. This one on the back, we just reused the old one, but Shane advised us to get a new one, which is here. So I've just got all of that off to change this. The part number is there, 1115076. And I'm not going to show you me putting it all on because you've seen that before, but I just thought I'd let you know that I'm renewing the gasket. So I think that's all we're going to have time for in this episode. But in the next one, I will do, as I said, and paint the rocker cover, and we need to get a new gasket for that as well, and start removing that old engine plate before we weld in Shane Baker's. One little update as well, we do actually have our own engine crane now. We were borrowing one before, but we picked this up yesterday for a relatively good price, so this will be coming in handy when we fit the ST170 engine. Right, so we have come to the end of this video, but before I finish it, there is a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, ignore the lighting. I know it's a bit orange in here, but I've had to turn the garage lights on. The first thing I wanted to touch on is that the channel is nearly on 1,000 subscribers, and I'm absolutely over the moon that we're nearly there. The goal was for the end of this year, so we're going to be hitting that a little bit early. And from us hitting that target on the channel, there's going to be a little giveaway. I'm trying to get some small companies involved so we can make it as best as possible for you guys. And also there's going to be a 1,000 sub video special. The second thing I'd just like to touch on is that we're obviously now in lockdown. I have had 2 weeks off with the videos. I'm just trying to create a bit of a backlog now, which I can edit through and get up weekly again. So every Thursday 6 PM I've got you sorted. Third thing I want to mention is that I've now got a Facebook page. So if you type in Mark2 Mitch on Facebook, give it a like, and yeah, you'll see regular updates of what I'm doing with the Mk1, the Mk2, my daily ST. So yeah, go and check that out and give it a like. And last but not least, this isn't a shout out, I haven't been paid to do this at all. I bought this off Marcus, but if anyone watches Marcus Hayes YouTube channel, I bought this mug of Maud. I think it's yeah, it's really cool, and yeah, go and check out his website and his channel as well. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more. Until next one, I'll see you guys later.